if after sales happens, that is when you will be able to turn the cycle in the business. A car which is doing it, it is at 1.10, 1.15 crores on road in Ahmedabad. It's difficult to sell that car in this kind of a scenario specifically, and the response was phenomenal. We ended up doing 8 cars in the last month, and that is a phenomenal response for that kind of a car in this kind of a time.
So, team, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Rev Up with AR Pro. Inspiration may not always from top. It not be from a person who is really big or famous, but can also be from your colleagues, right? So, in fact, this has happened to a lot of us also. I mean, it's not always inspiration. You need to seek inspiration yourself. Being on the top position on any, or I would not say not only for top position on any position that we handle in our industry, it's very important to be self-inspired. And the self-inspiration can always come from anybody around you. So there's a lot of people. So this is something very, this is a fantastic example given by Pro Nishad, that inspiration is available throughout your, around your world. It's up to you to look out and find them and probably get inspired yourself. That's fantastic. In fact, now let me understand something from you. Now, when I was on the call other day with you, you told me something really interesting. After the lockdown, that is post lockdown, many of us are having tough challenges in the auto industry, and dealers are struggling to sell cars. And this is the kind of time wherein you've sold, okay, I'm not going to tell that now. You tell it yourself. So you've sold not only cars, but you sold one of those top cars. So, team, do you want to hear that from Pro Nishad? It's an interesting experience that he shared, that post COVID he has done something really wonderful in his dealership, or the team. He along with his team has done something really wonderful at the dealership. So let's hear about it. Do you want to hear that from Pro Nishad? I don't see likes coming in. I need more likes on this. Do press the like button if you've loved it. Okay, so Pro Nishad is going to tell you that. So Pro Nishad has done a wonderful job with this team. So let me turn over to Pro Nishad.
Yeah, thanks. So I think that's what we were discussing the other day. Lockdown has given us a lot of things to think about, and the events of the last 3 months are something that we have never been trained on, or we have never been taught to experience or expect in our life. So in spite of all the trainings and everything and all the experiences all put together, I'm sure that a lot of people watching, all cumulative experiences have not taught us what to do with this kind of scenario. So when we got into this mode and we opened up our showrooms, one of the things we decided is that if sales happens, or if after sales happens, that is when you will be able to turn the cycle in the business. So in workshops and showrooms both, we had the front line and the technicians available on an immediate basis. All of our operations team, the marketing team, and everybody who could operate from home, they were requested to operate from home. The sales team was on the call at the showroom immediately. So very interesting thing which had happened is that in spite of all the talks of negativity, the pandemic, the way it is spreading, the GLS was launched on time by Mercedes on 17th of June last month, and it was a fantastic online launch, and it was 100% online launch, attended by almost 7,000 to 8,000 people online. And we also did the online launch locally in Gujarat, and the response was phenomenal. So a car which is doing it, it is at 1.10, 1.15 crores on road in Ahmedabad. It's difficult to sell that car in this kind of a scenario specifically, and the response was phenomenal. We ended up doing 8 cars in the last month, and that is a phenomenal response for that kind of a car in this kind of a time. On an average, we used to do 2 GLS and 3 GLS per month, but almost tripling that figure was really amazing, and it gives a lot of heart to know that there is still juice in the market even in this scenario, and we are there to take out that juice right now.
That's fantastic, isn't it, team? A dealership which used to do about three cars of this segment, that is the GLS. GLS, is called a S class of SUV, and a car costing more than 1.5 crores, which the dealership used to sell about three a month, has done seven. That is more than double the regular numbers. Of course, it was a new launch, but then the time, the situation post COVID, isn't that amazing, guys? Of course, something interesting that you probably noted is the digital launch, the response to the digital launch. About 8,000 people watching the digital launch live. That's amazing. So today, probably this is something that a lot of us have to do. Recently, I was also attending a lot of digital launches, by various brands and also the dealerships. So for people working in the dealership, probably this is something that we need to work on. The effectiveness of your digital launch. How many people are coming on to your digital launch? How many people are latched up? How you engage them on this digital launch? These are something very important in this period of time. Throw Nishad.
Absolutely. So I think you have to give it your best. You have to think out of the box, and you have to. It is. We have to ensure that work gets done no matter what. You can take the example of a postman in the Times. Rain or shine, you get your mail. So I think it's time for us to become that postman in our life and ensure that we keep being productive in different ways. Yes.
That's amazing. So, in fact, the kind of, definitely there's a lot of positivity and hard work of your team, which has gone into doing this amazing feat. So, is there any strategy also that was pre-planned by you and your team to achieve this? Or did you have any, previous experience which, helped you to achieve feat in your dealership?
So COVID is not an experience which anybody has had in the past till now. But what we have been doing in the times of lockdown is that we have been brushing up the technical knowledge of our team with quizzes, trainings twice a week, thrice a week. We have a very good trainer on board, and we have been constantly giving out bites of information to our team. Not only that, apart from that, we have been identifying segments which are not disturbed or which are less affected from this COVID situation right now. And we've been targeting our marketing and our activities towards this segment specifically. Doctors, chartered accountants, the pharma industry. These are some of the segments which are less or affected by the COVID situation. And we've been trying to push our activities towards these people. So I know and for sure that this activity has definitely or the proactiveness that we have shown as a team has definitely helped us to come back faster in these times.
Okay, so that was an interesting incident. In fact, all of us in our career have always faced challenges at some point of time, for sure. And similarly, I'm sure you also have faced a lot of challenges in your life. So, can you give us an example of one of the biggest challenges that you faced in your career in the auto industry, and probably and how what was the way or how did you come out of it? That would be some here from you.
Yeah, definitely. So we always play the victim card for ourselves in life generally, and there was a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers, where he has given example of people who are born at the right time at the right place to reach a level where they are. So he gave an example of Bill Gates and the band called the Beatles and why they were so successful, and there was a story behind it, where they were born and who they were born to played a large role in their success. So taking from that analogy, I call our generation as a child or children of recession. So we have seen recession every 4 years. There is a trend. When I started out working, it was 2002 and 2004 was a very bad year to start out in your career. So if nothing, I was thankful to get a job at that point of time, and that too back in my hometown in Ahmedabad. I studied in Pune. So there, getting a job was a great thing for me at that point of time. From 2005 to 2008 was a glorious period for retail assets, a lot of promotions, foreign trips, bonuses, a great time. That is when you feel that you are at a high point in life. You've reached there, you've achieved everything. And suddenly in 2008, there was this financial crisis. We all know that. I was in two-wheeler loans at that point of time, and due to high level of delinquencies, the bank decided to shut down the two-wheeler business at that point of time. So when you are a superhero in a business and suddenly the business goes closed, you are forced to wonder, what's going to happen next. So that is when your peak and you go to a bottom, and again you start out your life as a fresher in the corporate business. So there again, we worked for 2-3 years. We saw the downturn, the US meltdown. Terrible balance sheets were being floated around everywhere. So suddenly, from a blue-eyed employee, I had a terrible run-in with 2-3 bosses, and we saw it all. I think so. Everyone has been there and done that. Again, in 2012, when I joined the automotive sector, it was a really good time for this sector from 2012 to 18. So again, there was a peak in this time in my life and in everybody's life. And now there is this 2020 challenge, which is there out for everyone, and nobody knows what to do, or we are trying our best to get out of it. So we have not been strangers to extrinsic factors affecting our careers and our lives. But it's really important to not let the highs of your life get to your head and the lows of your life get to your heart is what I would like to say. And the only way to come out of a low in your life is with a lot of patience and hard work. And results, as you know, are not immediate. You have to keep working, but I'm sure they will show results one day. And basically, it is important to have a view of the larger picture in life and keep looking at opportunities and to keep work on something that is not affected by the overall scenario, and that is where you will have to find your own success, is what I would like to say.
Okay, great. So, in fact, a lot of people have, decided to fight this out really positively, and I've seen that across. There are majority of the people I've seen who are really positive, whatever be the situation or COVID or what come what may, and I am going to fight it out. This is the kind of attitude a lot of us have, and that's exactly why we have so many members on this live program as well. So I have so many people on live right now, and I have seen this over a trend. Now we've been doing this Rev Up program for almost more than a month now, and I've been seeing there are few people who are really regular on this program who want to charge themselves up, and they're really regular on every program, not one or two. So it is, and but there are some people who just come up one time and then go back, but that is their own interest. So team, it is being positive ourselves, that's something very important. We are doing this program to create this positivity and spread this positivity around. Now, one very important thing that we need to understand: as long as we are positive about doing things, and we have decided to take up things and go forward, you will definitely find a way forward and definitely find a solution to all challenges that we have. Now, COVID or not, sales will happen. That has been proved already with the sales numbers that have come up for the last 2 months after the lockdown. So when sales is happening from across your city, now how do we increase our conversion ratio and all these things is something that we need to train ourselves on and get acquainted with the new process, new normal. That's something very important. We need to change with time. If you still trying the old ways to sell your cars or service your cars, then you are wrong. It's time to change. So, Pro Nishad, can you tell me something? What are the tips that you would like to give to help us take charge of the present?
Yeah, so as you said, this is the new normal, and the new normal is actually very abnormal. It's a thing that we have seen in our life, and we've been, as I said, we have not trained for this any time. So basically, the trip is to take positivity out of everybody. I don't watch the news as a norm, which I used to, but I don't watch the news. I have discarded reading papers because every on the newspaper the front page says it all. So many people passed away or so many people affected by COVID, and businesses are going down. So we have to. It is very important to stay away from negativity at this point of time. There will be 100 people who will be trying to pull you down, but you have to find that one person or two people who will try to drag you up and pat you on the back and say, "Chalo, let's do it today." So that is something which one should do at this point of time. Also, for our people in sales and after sales, uh, uh, it is very important to know that every morning. So we started something called शेर सुबह जाएगा शाम को कुछ लेके आएगा, something like that. So when a lion goes out, so we are all lions in the industry right now. So when a lion goes out, we have to ensure lion does not come back empty-handed in the evening. So because he has people to feed, he has an organization to run, right, or his own pride to feed. So it might not be a deer or a huge kill every day, but in the evening, if nothing, he should come back with a rabbit, so that people don't go empty-handed home. So that is the kind of message that we are driving through our team, and sales is the only way out right now, is what I would like to say. No matter which division you are in, whether you are in sales, you are in after sales, or you are in marketing, if you do not work towards getting a number of any sort, then you are not a productive person at this point of time for your organization. And that is something which we are trying to drive through all our teams across the country. That if sell something in by evening, sell something. You can sell an accessory, you can sell a car, you can get a person to your after sales workshop. Suppose a customer who is not serviced his car for last 2 months or 3 months. Let's just encourage him to get a start to the workshop. That is also a sale which has been made. And same for the workshop guys also, who are the workshop guys are kind of doctors for the customer. And once they say that this is a good car to buy, I'm sure that the customer trusts the after sales guy more than a sales guy, because sales guy they have a way of pitching something to their benefit. But the customer knows that after sales guy, he is talking from his heart. And so after sales people also should learn to try and sell something for the benefit of everyone. So these are a few things which we should have in our mind while working through this scenario right now. Also, it is a good time to be cross-functional, right? So there is a time when you are absolutely working on your own division, and I will do only sales, or I will do only after sales. So this is a good time to do some cross-learning, to collaborate with your colleagues in your organization, and try to learn what they're doing and make yourself as productive as possible, so that see, times are tough. Tough calls will be taken by organizations in terms of reduction of headcount, because that's the primary first thing to do, right? It is the first thing to do. So when that time comes in that organization to reduce a headcount, we have to ensure that we should not be the first one or the first person to be thought of in that terms as such. I should not be the first person to be kicked out of the organization. And the way to do that is to produce as much value for the company as possible. So I always say that if you earn, or if you are paid 100 rupees, try and give a value of 300 rupees back to the company. And without you saying it or not, there is somebody who is noticing that this guy is a value generator for my organization, and I need to have him in bad times, so that when times are good, he is the one who's going to get me to the top.
That's a very important point. How much value you add to your organization decides how long the organization has to keep you in. That's something very important. And like Pro Nishad said, what you did the entire day, what value addition you have done for the company the entire day. When company is deciding tomorrow to leave a few people, these are thoughts that would actually hit on the top management's mind, that what kind of value can this person provide. So team, this is something very important to all of us. Decide what value you're providing, and you have to keep a target to yourself to add that value to your company. So now, team, we're going to the last part of the session, wherein Pro Nishad is going to talk about one of his favorite topics. So in fact, the topic that he has given is jack of all trades or master of one. So he will be talking about it right now. But just after that, we have a live Q&A session. So you can start posting your questions in the comment section, and we will be answering that, after this section. So over to you.
Thanks a lot, bro. So this is, why I selected this topic as such. There are a lot of people who will be talking about the automotive sector as such, but right now is a time for survival. It is not a time to thrive; it is a time to survive. And jack of all trades versus master of none or master of one has been one of my, it's the way I've lived my corporate career from last 18 years. So this term, which was something used in the 1600s, it was a praise, that somebody is a jack of all trades. And later on, it went on to become a criticism for a person who isn't focused in his life, a floater. Like, kabhi is din ye karta hai, kabhi wo karta hai. So a person like me, who is floated across divisions of careers, is not a right person at one point of time. So the debate is still on. It is about generalization versus a specialization kind of a thing. So if you look at my corporate journey, which I very much relate to on this topic, from retail banking to retail asset to corporate banking, CEO for a light vehicle, commercial vehicle, then heavy vehicles, and now the CEO for a luxury brand. There is nothing common across these roles. However, cumulative experiences of last 18 years have helped me to grow in any role that I've stepped into, and a lot of people to credit in this also. So when we say a jack of all or master of one, so is a CEO, as a CEO, am I a better accountant than my accountant? I don't think so. So was Steve Jobs, if you take an example, was he a better programmer than one of the top coders at Apple? I don't think so again. So he was not one of the best person or the best coder at that in that organization. But then he was a CEO. So he possessed a skill or a broad skill set, and he saw trends and opportunities that other people could not, right? In the military also, you have a general. So the general heads the military. So there is a reason, I feel, why a general is called a general, and nothing. Why not a captain of the military? So he's a general because he's a generalized specialist in all forms of military warfare, and that is where it comes from. So there is another thought that jack of all is a mediocre person. Well, I beg to differ here. A jack of all is not a mediocre at everything. In today's times, we have to be able to learn and collaborate and with everyone and get results to achieve organizational objectives at all point of time. However, to be a successful jack of all, one needs to be a master of at least one or two skill sets in their life. You cannot be actual jack of all. You need to pick up two skills and decide that I'm going to be a master of these two skills, and then I'll be a jack of all trades. In my case, I've kept at those two skills are a learning capability and having a people-centric approach. So people could be anything. It can be from the employees to the customers to the OEMs that we have to deal with, to our investors, the investors who have invested in the company, who expect something from us, and then the vendors also. So these are all balls that you have to juggle at this role, and this is something which I have decided that I'll be good at learning or adding value to myself on a regular basis, and I'll have a people-centric approach. So these are the two things that I decided that I'll keep at the top of my mind, and then do be a jack everywhere else. So some of the advantages of being a jack of all is having a diverse skill set. So when somebody needs a hole to plug in after sales, you should be the first person that they think of. It might not be your core competence, but then your core competence, if it is learning and adaptability and flexibility, I think you should be the first person that the organization thinks of. A long-term learner, a great fit for a leadership if you look at it in that way. Generally, if you look at CEOs everywhere, I'm a very small person in that I would not like to call myself a CEO. I don't call myself that, but great leaders have always been fast learners, and they have always been collaborators, right? And they have been able to work at various levels and get people together to achieve organizational objective. So these are the kind of people that somebody looks forward to having on the team. And it is a time, or it is an era of startups. So startups don't have that much fund to get hire various number of people for various roles. So a person who has a diverse skill set is the right person to be hired in a startup. So you are just making yourself more employable by being a jack of all trades.
Okay, that was really insightful. In fact, really, jack of all trades. Today, in fact, this is very important, I guess, because we have to be multi-skilled in today's world. Today's,
Absolutely.
the new normal demands multi-skill. Right from a person at the sales level, maybe a sales consultant today has to be multi-skilled. He is not just talking about cars today, but he should also be able to convey messages digitally. That can be through a WhatsApp, or it can be, or even conveying the right message to the customer via Zoom calls, or even understanding what is a Facebook advertisement, what is a lead generation service of the digital marketing, how does it respond, how many follow-up or why prompt follow-up is required for digital responses today. So all these are something very important to be learned by the new generation of sales consultants or the sales team or even the service team for that matter. So that's something really insightful. So now let's go to the last section, that is the Q&A session. So a lot of questions coming in. So this is I mean, your success in digital marketing seems to have struck the right spot. There is a question from Pro Zakir who says, can you share the link to your digital launches with the AR Pro in future, probably for
Yeah,
the next
definitely.
one?
Definitely. So we can definitely share the links to our digital launches with AR Pro, and I think it is something which I should have done. Now that Zakir has mentioned it, I'll keep that in mind and we'll keep sharing that.
That's great. So now we go to the next question. This is from Pro Shinto George. So Shinto George says, what is your opinion about the sales teams learning? Is there any challenges for them since it's a totally different scenario than what he has learned earlier?
Yes, definitely. So, sales team at their level, uh, I've seen that they are in a spot that which is very comfortable for them. Uh, they rely on walk-ins rather than working hard, or they rely on the references for their numbers. And when you give them something of a cold call or a digital lead, which requires more hard work on their side, they tend to back out of it. So they tend to reach for the low hanging fruits. It is human nature. I don't blame any person for that. Uh, Even if I had been in their place, I would have naturally reached for the lowest hanging fruit at that point of time. But then, as senior people in the organization, it is our duty to ensure that especially in these times where each lead coming in is of utmost importance. And so it is our duty to have a right kind of sales funnel, and you segregate your leads from where they've come. So it can be a walk-in, it can be a reference, it can be from Facebook, Instagram, Car Deco, and all these platforms. There are various platforms from which leads come from, and it is our duty to ensure that the sales team takes a digital lead which is generated from Facebook as seriously as a walk-in. You don't know where your customer is coming from, and for anybody who is monitoring your leads or where the leads are coming from, you will see that in the last 2 months, the proportion of digital leads has increased drastically. So for take our example, so we had around 45% of leads coming digitally in the month of January or February. Suddenly post lockdown, this has gone up to 75% as a group. So that is a huge
Wow, that
number.
is from 40% to 75%.
Exactly. So
Almost double.
it's almost double. So there is a tendency that and there are a lot of people who are drifters on the digital platform. So I might not want to buy a Mercedes, but then I just want to click on it and see how what is the car all about. So you don't know the serious buyer from the drifter, but then you cannot differentiate in that way. So we have to ensure that the sales team puts enough effort to segregate the customers and to make in the warm the basics of sales, warm, hot, and cold. So that is the best way we going forward. And the more effort or the more seriousness that is put on the sales funnel, the better will be the output.
Okay. Your topic on jack of all trades seems to have hit Pro Vineet P. Raj. So what he asks is, what are your two skills?
So as I said, my two important skills which I've always held on to is the learning ability, and from the experience that I've already shared, going in from banking to retail assets, retail sales, corporate banking and from commercial vehicles straight onto a luxury car manufacturer. So this is one thing which I've maintained, and I pick up very the nuances of the trade or the business very fast. I learn about the customers, about the employees really fast, and adapt to the scenario. So basically, you have to be like a chameleon. You have to change your color really fast, and get in there as fast as possible. So this is one thing, and second is having a people-centric approach, which I mentioned. So it is really important to learn to listen to the people around you, right? I might be the best judge of the activity right now, but then there is somebody who knows a little bit better on what is on the scenario, and if you don't listen to him, then the decision that you are taking is a mediocre one, as for me. So in terms of marketing, I have a view, and my marketing team has another view. So if I don't listen to that view and try and incorporate their view in the decision making process, then whatever decision I'm taking is a part one. It is at 50%, right? And the results will not be guaranteed. So it is necessary to listen to people around you and take calls accordingly.
Okay. So now we have a question from Pro Praveen Kumar. I think some of it is already answered. So Praveen says, COVID-19 crisis has made my business move slow. No customer walk-ins, everything around my automobile startup is becoming online. How do I digitally enable myself to create the best digital customer experience?
Yeah, so this is a very important question in the current times. So there are two things. Either we must be an expert on the digital platform, or we should hire somebody who is an expert on that platform and to generate leads. So again, the faster we change and the faster we adapt, Pro Praveen, to this scenario, the faster will be the results that you want in your life and in your business. So there is no one way, as even Pro Srikanth will agree, there is no one way to the digital world. It is a omni-channel. So there are various channels which are coming together and which are giving us or anybody a success or a failure in that way. So I think the best way is to either learn the tricks of the trade, which is difficult, it will take time. And time is something we don't have the luxury at right now. So either learn the tricks of the trade or hire the right people and have trust on them.
That's really important. So either you know the trade, a trick of the trade, or hire an expert who knows the trick of the trade. This is something very important, and how fast you implement it is most important part, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So now we have the next question coming in from Johnny Jant. So Pro Johnny says, any suggestions on how to get leads in this pandemic situation and how to crack deal on client asking discounts? So this has been a major challenge across, I guess.
So unfortunately, over a period of time, I think it is us as salespeople who have trained the clients to talk on discounts rather than value-based selling, right? So no matter which brand you're selling, I'm sure that there is some value to what product you're selling. It is important for us to first understand the value of the brand that we are selling. Have faith. I know it's very, we talk to this day in and out with our team also. But if you put me in front of a customer, it is very difficult to explain that value to the customer in this current scenario or any scenario where discount versus value is always a very difficult thing to talk. So we have to first know the value that we are going to provide to the customer, how different our product is from the other products which are available in the market, and then try to sell on it. Discount is something which is inevitable. You will have to work around that, and your deal will finally end at some kind of a discount. I don't have a doubt on that in this scenario. But then, if you are able to reduce that discount by providing some value, then it will be a win for you.
So, team, that was a lovely session. We had Pro Nishad on the show, and he's given us beautiful insights. So, it's time for us to thank him. So, I'm sure all of you loved it too. Please type your comments, your feedbacks in the comments right now. I'm sure Pro Nishad is going to read them all. So, type your comments right now in the comment section. Type your feedbacks in the comment section. And team, it is time for us to, bid goodbye to Pro Nishad from RevUp. It was awesome having you on RevUp. Thank you for the wonderful insights that you've given. We would love to host you for some other program also in future on AR Pro.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Pro Srikanth. It was a pleasure being here, and I hope that I was able to add some value to our listeners on this lovely Sunday. And thank you all for joining in, and I hope you have a good time and take care. Times are difficult, but it is very important to hang in there right now. Hang on to the whatever straw of hope that you have, and let us see this thing through. And there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel, is what I would like to say at the end.
Thank you, Pranishad. So, team, before we wind up this RevUp session, press the share button immediately to share this video with your colleagues in the auto industry. And team, remember, you can invite all your members to RevUp with AR Pro. We have this program happening every Sunday at 11 a.m. on Facebook Live on our channel as well. And you'll also find the recordings to this on our YouTube channel, ProTube by AR Pro. The link is given in the scroll that you can see on the video right now. So this is ProTube by AR Pro. You can just search for ProTube by AR Pro. You can find this recording on YouTube channel as well. We'll catch up on the next session with yet another amazing guest. Goodbye.